Welcome to Prophetic Sundays on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are just living a blessed life and that, you are taking advantage of the good things that are happening in this season, because we are in the best of times and in the worst of times. It's like both of these realities are simultaneously coexisting among us. And so, one world is ending, I keep saying this, and another world is being born. But the world that's being born is trying to be destroyed by the world that's ending, and there's a lot of seduction and there's a lot of things that are trying to lure us into into the dying world with its dying concepts and dying realities, because everything about that world, and people, Satan, whatever you want to call it, the devil, hell on earth, everything about that world is about destruction. It's about pain. It's about violence. It's about rejection, hurt, and it's all about destroying. But there is another side, because there is a dispensation that has come into play. There is a special, a special presence of the Most High. So if you look at the world, if you look at the world half empty, it looks like everything is falling apart. But if you look at the world half full, you'll see that there's so many people and communities around the world that are slowly building this new reality, this new life on earth. And it may look like the dying world has more power, but it's all about perspective, and it's all about, they're all battling for this. They're all battling to control our mind and to get us to think about, the falling world. And when I say they, I'm talking about the powers that be. They want us to think like that so that we can fall with the world. But we must orient ourselves to see, what is the Most High Creator doing? Because that's what I was thinking, because I was meditating the other day and I was thinking, this is happening, that is happening, earthquakes, election, unrest in this country, that country, Venezuela, whatever. And so I was meditating on that and the New World Order and the plan to exterminate black people, which are very real realities. And I was meditating on that. And the Most High challenged me and was like, but what is the Most High doing? What is the Spirit of Yah doing? What is the Spirit of the Creator up to? And what is happening with all those that are awakening, because the sleeping giants are awakening, and this is a very, very special season for that. And the verse that kind of spoke to me was 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. I think it describes where we are so perfectly, and it describes how we are in the best of days and we are in the worst of days. And it says, but know this, that in the last of days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of Yah, having a form of godliness but denying its power, and from such people turn away. For of this sort are those who creep into households and make captive of gullible women, loaded down with sins, led away by various lusts, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And so the grand deception is here, guys. The New World Order is in full effect. They're just trying to now solidify their control as everything, because there's always these little pockets of rebellion, because there is always a remnant. But that's what we need to be aware of. And before I continue, let's say a quick word of prayer. Almighty Creator, we come before you in the name of your Son, Yeshua, so grateful for everything that you have done. We thank you for sending your Son as an example to us, as the second Adam, with a new blueprint that we could tap into, that we could, be inspired by and activate in ourselves. The fact that that you reside in us, and that all power for the destiny and the dreams that you give us is in our hearts, and we have all the provision to fulfill it. Help us to start getting the right perspective of our lives and the right perspective of life in general. Help us to see the world as half full and not half empty. Help us to be able to tap into the great and wondrous things that you are doing to create heaven on earth, and not to get sucked, tapped into, wrapped into the hell on earth that is ending, the hell on earth that is dying. Help us to always be in alignment with your grace, with your power, and with your endless provision and miraculous presence. We thank you that through the second Adam, we have a new blueprint where we can be mighty right here on earth. Selah. So I'm going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, Africa!
Welcome back to the Dr. Mumbi Show, Prophetic Sundays. How you doing? How's everything going? We are in the best of times and we are in the worst of times. It's all about how you choose to see the world around you, how you choose to interpret your story, and how you choose to tell your narrative, how you choose to, activate and kind of, design your narrative, because really the story has so many perspectives. Your story has so many perspectives. So always make sure it's an empowering part of, that you're seeing, because what's happening right now is that if you have even a mustard seed of faith, there's that verse in the Bible that talks about that tide. All you need is a mustard seed of faith and great things, and you can move a mountain. You can command a mountain to move to the sea and it will go. And so faith is so important, and in order to tap into the power that is within you, you have to develop. All you need to do is develop that right faith, develop that little faith that it can happen, and really, really start to control the narrative of what you're telling yourself, how you're interpreting the world, to your heart, to your mind, to your consciousness, and what you're choosing to do and how you're choosing to interact. Because as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, our blessings, our breakthroughs, our opportunities, our great wealth always comes through people or through ideas. That's how the Most High will, bless your life. And through those, the Holy Spirit in you kind of, urges you or creates these almost like deja vu feelings where you should do this and turn here or go to this office or look this up online, or you'll open your computer and exactly what you needed to learn about there happens to be a link to it on YouTube or whatever. It's just like there's so much synchronicity, and so what you need to do is to enter that cycle of synchronicity. And the way you do that is you start moving towards building. Forget about the destruction, and by this time you should have stopped the destruction, the self-destruction that you do to yourself through your thoughts, through your words, through your deeds, and any kind of destructive behavior that you engage in with others. And that's basically what sin is. Sin is something that destroys, because I think the religion has made it seem like you're bad, you've been bad, and they've tried to attach this negativity to it. But really, sin is something that harms you, that harms your mind, your heart, your soul, and that starts to create a decaying process in you, and it's destructive, and there are two competing realities. There's one of the creator, which is purely creative, and there's one of the destroyer, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, that is all about destroying, using up, manipulating, destroying. And so my advice to you in this season is take advantage of the little inclinations that you get in your heart and your mind. Follow through on those ideas that are deposited in your soul. Follow through on the strategies that the Most High is giving you, and enter a cycle of synchronicity. When you see yourself, when you see things happening where you think of someone and they call you, or where you just see synchronicity just starting to take effect in your life, know that you are on the path of creation. But when you see, a lot of stalling, a lot of, failed opportunities, a lot of things kind of falling apart on the edge of breakthrough, just know that you are somewhere in your life, the destroyer has gained access and he is wreaking havoc, and you must identify what that is. And so always, we must remember what this cycle looks like. Heal yourself. Heal yourself, change your narrative about yourself. Pray, seek the Most High's guidance, seek the Most High's presence, and then listen. and allow the Most High to give you ideas. Allow your spirit, the most powerful part of you, to give you inclinations of where you should be and what you should be doing. Don't try and get to the end today. Just make that first step in your journey, and slowly you will start to see things evolving, changing, and transforming. Because we are in the best of times, but we are also in the worst of times. And if you look at the world around you, you know, the matrix is trying to convince us that only the worst of times is real, when the truth is the best of times is more real than the worst of times. So make sure you have the right perspective in this season, so that you can move towards living your greatest dream, your purpose, your destiny. Mwah.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.